Oh my God, I was not made for the fame. This is not. A lot of the questions and themes that I explore in my work are about identity, especially identity in the margins. I see identity in the margins as a result from violence and intense pain, but also a place where I get to keep myself, a place where I don't have to wash myself. Also, a lot of the work talks about pain and how we perceive the pain of others. But it also like it's this like push and pull. What was discussing this really dark themes of displacement because of war, and how do we witness the pain of others, but also has this sort of, especially in this exhibition, it has like these very lush colors and really bright colors. It's a way to lure like the participants and the viewer into the exhibition. Especially the sound piece invites them to think about the personal relationship to coffee as a way to connect them to the global, and then as a way to get them to think about the role in a society that causes pain in everyday life. I think that my identity influences everything in my practice. A lot of the work that I do is made from, like growing up in El Salvador, being displaced because of war, existing in this country. That is the reason that I had to leave in the first place, and it's the reason that caused, that helped fund this 12-year war. So, and a lot of them, it's me trying to figure out, like, how do I make a home for myself? How do I create a safety for myself? And not just for myself, but for others. And so I'm always thinking about, like, questions about home, very much specifically because of my experiences growing up and having to leave El Salvador. I think there's a lot of challenges. Like a lot of it has to do with my background, being like a first generation college student, and like me trying to figure out how to navigate those spaces, like in institutions that I belong to, and even like going into the arts. Like nobody in my family has gone to the arts. It's just something that I didn't, like my family didn't see as something that you go into. And so it's not only me going to school as a first generation, but it's also going to this field that I don't have any experience or background in. Like I didn't grow up going to museums. Like I didn't grow up like looking at art. We didn't talk about art in my classes. So like it was like this like, just like this like immersion of this learning that I had to do. And then like existing in spaces like in institutions that are mostly white, it's just like this really difficult experience where like it's constantly like navigating this really problematic history of exclusion and silencing certain voices, and some voices not being allowed to participate, and me like entering these spaces while still trying to keep like myself, my identity, like not having to change myself to exist in these spaces. But sometimes that makes it really difficult because like I think if maybe I went with the flow, maybe things will go easier. But because I'm constantly trying to change these spaces, not just for myself but for others. Like I want like my students of color to thrive. I want them to like succeed. I want them to like do amazing things, and I just don't think that we're there yet. So like it's just like it's not only like me making my art, but also like thinking my role, what does it represent? Like who am I representing? Who am I talking to? Who am I talking for? And all these conversations that are just really complicated. I would love to collaborate with Guadalupe Maravilla. I love his work. I love the way he thinks about sculpture and performance and community, and the way that he builds spaces for the people that he wants to engage with, and the way he's using sound in a way that is healing, and I think all of that just seems amazing, and I would love to work with him. I think that would be amazing. I think like Ana Mendieta will always, I feel like I always have just such a connection with her work. I think both of us were we're thinking about similar themes about displacement and how do you make a place for yourself, and thinking about the earth and the land, and how do we connect ourselves to it. I also thought that she just has such a like great power, sensitivity in the way she was exploring just really difficult subjects. That I used to have a farm with chicken, goats, alpaca, and sheep, and I will love to have it again. Like I love being in a farm, and I think it is very much tied to ancestral, like desire of owning land and not being able to have that, and it's just very much tied to that. And I love like, like as you can tell, like like growing my own food and taking care of the animals, and the slowness and the care and everything that goes into that is just like so beautiful, magical, and hard, and it just shows you like how much labor it goes into like growing food, and maybe people sometimes like either they're disconnected from it because they're like it's far away, but I would love, like I know that it's the life that I want for me, and I would love to go back to it again.